Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. This is Coach Powell. Welcome to Coffee, Tea, You and Me. Every week, every Friday, for the last 2.5 years, I've been working with entrepreneurs, business leaders, sales professionals, teaching them everything I know. I really think it's important that if you have a gift, if you have a talent, if you have something that you can share with others, that you do so as liberally and as you possibly can. Now, that doesn't mean you have to always give it away, but you need to figure out what you can give away as an opportunity to grow others. And that's what I'm all about. I'm a champion for small, women-owned, and minority-owned businesses. I try to make sure I'm a true advocate for them. I sit on tons of committees and tons of organizations that are all focused in that same direction, because I truly believe that entrepreneurs empower our country, empower our nation. And it's evidenced by the fact that 99% of all businesses all throughout the nation are small business. 99%. Think about that for a second. Most people who are in business are solopreneurs. They are in their basement, just like I am. They're offering their products and their services, and they're trying to make things work. Now, it doesn't mean that they're always successful. In fact, the numbers are dismally disadvantaged for entrepreneurs. Most of them are out of business within the first 5 years. A large majority of entrepreneurs. If I could do anything to kind of turn the scales and make that thing a little different, and create some opportunities for new people, just generating some new ideas, find some new relationships, key in some new opportunities, that's what I'm all about. So if you're an entrepreneur out there today and you have some information that you want to put across and you want to get people, throw your information in the chat. Trust me, this is a business friendly environment. I want to make sure that everybody knows who you are, what you bring to the table, and what you're all about. This is the moment. This is the key opportunity for all of us, because unlike a lot of other things that you participate in and go, everybody wants you, don't tell anybody what you do. Don't try to sell your products and services. I'm going to kill that noise and dial that up. If you got something that's good for people, if you got something that's good for others, then I want you to share it. I want you to put it in the chat. I want you to tell us about yourself, who you are, where you're from, the whole 9 yards. If you're watching this for the first time, or if you are coming from another point in the country or the world, definitely give us a shout out. Let us know who you are, what your business is, where you're coming from, even if you're just watching this in the recording. Because I know a lot of you all don't sign on necessarily on Friday in the middle of the day, right? Some of you all may have some time on the weekend, or you have time in the evenings. Definitely watch. By the way, if you want to go back and check out any of the previous episodes, they're all available to you on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and they're all there. So all you got to do is go back, dial in to Coach Powell, look me up. You will find it. You will find everything that we've done in the past, and we've had some legendary conversations. Today's conversation is no less important. In fact, it is vital, in my opinion. What we're going to be talking about for the next few weeks is vital to your ability to strengthen your programs, to make sure that you're doing everything that you can do to really, really blow things up and magnify everything that you're all about, what you're going to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about collaboration. And I'm not going to be by myself today. I got some rock stars in the house. Today, I have got Norman Reynolds and Sterling Harris. And let me just tell you about these two fine gentlemen. You know, Norman Reynolds has been in the mortgage business for, I don't know, a long time. I'm just going to tell you, it's been a long time. Let me tell you, he's a tried and true professional. He has served the community here in Northern Virginia, in DC and Maryland for many years, and he is amazingly good at everything he does. He's amazingly good at sharing information about his business. He loves helping people, and he's going to be a useful resource. So those of you all who want to get in contact with Norman, I'm going to have him put his information in the chat and everything so that you guys can find him. But he's just going to be a great resource for you. I can't wait to hear what he has to say and to introduce himself to you guys. And then Sterling Harris, oh my God, this gentleman is literally the coach's coach. He has had so much experience, and he's so talented and gifted in the area of human development like nobody I know. And I know a ton of other coaches, just like myself. And he's one of the people I look up to. If you're thinking about, looking at the coaching industry, looking at the coaching business, what it's all about, the kind of character you need to have, you need to be thinking about Sterling Harris. That's the person you need to set he's the bar, right? I always tell people, don't try to set the bar, be the bar. He's the bar. So if you want to think about, what you're doing and how you're going to get it done, you need to talk to and you need to listen to everything my boy Sterling has to say. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves in a little bit right after we come back. But I want to make sure that everybody who's on board, everybody who's here today, make sure put your information in chat. Let us know how you're doing, what you're up to, how you found us. And don't feel like you have to hold anything back. Any part of this discussion that you want to get in on and you want to say something, feel free to put your information in the chat. Feel free to talk about it, because we want to create a highly engaged opportunity. Right up front, my boy Marcus Dandria is on Facebook right now. He's already popping information in. Way to go, Marcus. I really appreciate you for jumping in here and sharing that stuff, and we're going to get to it in just a second. Before we do that, I want to make sure everybody who knows is watching us, wherever you're watching us, if you like the program, if you will share the program, if you will do everything you can to help me engage as many entrepreneurs and business professionals as we possibly can, I will love you for it. If you got a deal that you want to offer, you want to share with everybody, throw that in the chat. Let's make sure we have it. And if it's something that you specifically want to talk about, either today or in the future, in a future conversation, put that information in the chat as well. Because I go back and I review these things, and I always, because the ideas usually I come up with come from people who I've spoken with, people who have talked to me, people who have engaged with me in the past, and they go, I want to hear more about this, or I want to talk more about that. And then, that becomes a program. So, I'm all about that. I got the next 3-4 weeks programmed out, but I'm open after that. So let's make sure if you got some ideas or thoughts, again, share them, put them in the chat. I want a highly engaged environment. We create a highly engaged opportunity. We want to make sure it's good for everybody. Okay. After these messages, we will have a quick break, and we're going to get right back to the show. I love that little graphic. One of my boys put that together for me. It's amazing what people can do these days. I'm always about sharing talent. So if you got some gifts and you got some talents you want to share, I'm the guy who's going to help you share them, because that's what I love to do. Speaking of, today's topic is going to be collaboration. We are going to chop it up. We're going to discuss it. We're going to talk about today specifically. We're going to talk about the 8 different gifts of the natural collaborator. How does a person come up with it? What collaboration is all about, and how do you share them? And how do you grow your gifting in any of those particular areas? And so we'll discuss them, and we'll chop it up, and we'll hopefully come up with some good things. I'm going to start though with introducing our guys. I already told you a little bit about Sterling Harris and Norman Reynolds, but I'm going to let them introduce themselves right now. So Sterling, you're first up. I already told everybody how wonderful you are, so now you get to prove it.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate the kind words.
About yourself, Sterling, and why you love what you do.
Okay, well, my name's Sterling Harris. As Coach Powell said, I'm a human developmental coach, which basically means that if you're in a family business or a small business or even a partnership, and you find yourself spending a lot of your time dealing with employee turnover or employee drama or things not getting done, morale, then what I do is I work with business owners to show them how to create a healthy workplace, to eliminate all of that through creating trust and creating safety and via communication, so that the employees that they have there, or the people that they're working with, or the contractors that they work with, then become team members, not employees, not contractors, but team members working together with you to benefit your business. So I'm pleased to be on the show, and hopefully I can provide some insight into the topic today on collaboration. And I'll just step back from here and enjoy the show.
Oh, no, I'm not going to let you go like that. Sterling,
yes.
How did you get involved with this business in the first place? Tell me where's the passion? Where's the love for this thing? Where'd you get that from?
Well, I'll tell you, my love for coaching actually came from just my personal growing up. I can tell you, I have a confession to make here. Growing up, I was not one of those kids that was the center of attention. I wasn't the cool guy. I was the not cool guy. And I had friends that were really, really cool. And I used to sit at home and wonder, what is it that they're doing that's working for them that doesn't seem to work for me? What is it how is it that people connect with them in a different way? And in trying to sort that out, I really just started looking, well, how do people connect with anybody? Why do we do the things we do? Which is what led me to pursue a psychology degree when I went to university, and got there and had a big stumbling block in that in order to get a psychology degree, I had to take French, and I wasn't into French. But I never lost that passion to understand that. And then I worked in the the government environment for about 23 years, actually as a television producer, crafting messages, basically PSAs, TV shows, which is really communication, trying to get, let people know about something, and also in a way that they can hear that information, not from my perspective, but from their perspective. And being in government and being in a workplace, I saw all the frustrations of being in the workplace, where I didn't feel supported, where there was always some drama going on, where it was very more competitive than collaborative. And I thought, this isn't the environment that works for me. It doesn't fit for me. And I had been doing some minor coaching and teaching of communication skills at your local community colleges. And generally what would happen is, after I did the class, somebody would come up and go, "Oh man, that sounds really good. Work with me." And I go, "Well, I don't do this professionally. I'm just kind of teaching," but I work with them, and stuff would happen. They would get these changes. We would make great progress. And finally, when I started doing that, I realized, this is what I want to do. I mean, I do this at night teaching, and then I go do this county government work, and I realized this is where I feel good. And a mentor once has said to me, if you find something that you love doing so much, you do it for free. That's what you're meant to do. And I realized I was doing this for free, and I loved it. And I thought, this is where I need to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I told you he was a rock star. I told you. I promise you, I don't bring anybody on the show that's not bringing the heat. And Sterling, I know that you got it. I know that you're doing it, brother. I'm a fellow introvert myself, and I'm a fellow book geek myself, and I know how it is. You and I have the brains, and everybody else just needs to listen. When they wake up, then we'll change the universe. We'll change the universe. So I'm going to put Sterling backstage. We're coming back to you in a minute, brother. I got to get Norman on here, man. Norman is another one of those phenomenal talents, and I'm so glad that he's graced us with his presence today. Norman, tell us about yourself and why you love what you do.
First of all, thank you for having me here. It's so nice to be on board with two coaches. So this is actually the collaboration already. I'm a mortgage guy, Norman the mortgage guy. I've been doing this since 2002. But I like to help people. I get a chance to tell people how to make themselves, their DTI, how much you need to save. You want this amount of house, you want a $200,000 house, you need this much money on credit score. And some people may not know the ins and outs of getting a mortgage, and I get to teach them that. So, and it's kind of like in a coach manner, I'm coaching them up. And hopefully, because we know that wealth is built through real estate, now we trying to make a dent, change some lives. That's what really makes me happy.
Norman, you messed me up, because I see this would happen when I get these big brains on the show. They start using words that I don't understand. And if I don't understand it, I know my audience doesn't understand it. So you're going to have to tell me, what is DTI and how is that relevant to the conversation?
Okay, that's good. It's the debt to income ratio, which is one of the main components to tell you how much house you can afford. So I ask them, what are you comfortable with your monthly payment? If you're used to paying rent for $1,200, then you may be able to go up to $1,400 or $1,500. But it's based on how much you make and how many car payments you have for your high dollar cars, and whatever's left you can afford to purchase a house with on a monthly basis.
Real quick, Norman. I don't do this often, but I know I got a genius on the call, so I'm gonna get it in while I can. Real quick, if somebody wanted to get into a house, even in this tough market, right, and their credit was not that good, and they maybe over leveraged and too much debt right now, what is the magical thing? What are the first things they can do right away that's going to help their situation?
Well, the main thing is to pay your credit on time. And if you have credit cards, you want to bring the balance of those credit cards down. That will raise your credit score the most. that how your usage of credit cards affects your credit score the most.
Okay.
Installments are second. Utilities don't even count unless you actually put them on your credit report.
Installments. What you mean? You mean car payments?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Just check. All right. So y'all heard it from Norman. Get your car payments under control. Get your credit under control. Make those payments and bring the payment. Don't just make the minimum payments. Bring the balance down regularly and consistently. If they charge you, they're telling you should pay $200, pay $250. Do what you can to keep that interest. You want to show yourself credit worthy. It's all about trust when it's all said and done. And your trust is demonstrated by how you pay. So make sure you do your thing that you need to do, and then Norman can put you into a nice house.
That's right.
All right, let me put Norman backstage, and we're gonna get this thing started. Today's topic is super, super, super important, and I'm so glad that Marcus is on board with us today because he already made some mentions to some things that I think we need to respond to when it comes to collaborating. Today we're talking about all the magic and why is collaboration so important, and this is a perfect example what Marcus put together that I think is going to be important. Let me just post it up here. This is what he had to say. He said basically big businesses are killing small businesses. And there's a reason for that. And it's not just because big businesses are more powerful. It's not just because, they have more quality or better quality stuff. They don't. Small businesses can't compete with big businesses because small businesses are all alone and they're going at it by themselves. They need to be intricately linked with their chamber of commerce, intricately linked with their local business and politicians and associates and so on and so forth. I know small businesses have blocked Walmart and Amazon from coming into their communities because they have such political power together. They have such economic strength together that has been recognized by the Chamber of Commerce, by the local economic development authorities and so on and so forth. It's those lonely entrepreneurs who sit on the sidelines and go, oh, I'm too busy focusing on my business to worry about the business environment, that they fall victim when these larger changes happen because people want to see these big businesses come in. Not people, I mean, but politicians want to see these big businesses coming in because they support their campaigns. So if you think about it, what you should be done, you take your power, you collect your power with others, and you don't avoid the unions and the places where the little guys are. You engage in the communities, and the communities will fall in love with you, and they will protect you and protect your business. This is what collaboration is all about. And I hope if anybody who's listening to the show understands, that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about why you should collaborate. And so before I get into the 8 different areas of collaboration, let's talk about why you should collaborate in the first place. And you must realize that everybody is stronger together. We are stronger together. Unity is the most important part of the collaborative effort. Whenever you think about who you are and what you're all about, think about where you learned it. How did you become you? Did you do it all by yourself? I guarantee you didn't. How many teachers were involved? How many coaches were involved? How many of your friends and associates were involved in you becoming you? You just heard from Sterling that he couldn't do what he needed to do unless somebody else shared some information with him and opened up his eyes to the possibility. This is a collaboration. But something has to happen in front of the collaborative effort, right? What has to happen in front of the collaborative effort is trust. You have to do what you need to do to establish the trust with the people that you are going to collaborate with. Before you enter the collaboration opportunity or the collaborative relationship, you must have a trusting relationship. And there's some keys to that. We're going to talk about that much later. But it's very, very important that you think about what's foundational to collaboration is an environment of trust, faith, hope, charity. These are the things that you have to make a part of your character in order to win the trust that you need to win with the people that you need to collaborate. Because if you don't, if people don't trust you, they're not going to want to collaborate with you. If you're that strange anomaly that is always about the difference, and you're not finding a way to fit into the culture around you, then you're not going to have opportunities to collaborate with other people. And there won't be a protection for you. There won't be a way for you to feel safe. Now, Sterling knows about this more than anybody else. If you don't feel safe, what's going to happen? Your brain isn't going to function. That's what's going to happen, because you're going to be angry. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to feel guilty. You're going to feel blame, shame, fear. All those things are going to jump into your world, and you're not going to be able to function at your best. You're not going to be able to put your best foot forward because you're scared. Norman probably could tell you even from basketball days, if you're scared to take the shot, the likelihood that you're going to do anything with that, and the likelihood that you're going to let your team members down who are dependent on you is going to be pretty good. But if you have a team that's supportive, and then you have a team that is not a whole bunch of team of individuals, but a team that's all about working together and collaborating, then you're going to feel comfortable taking the shot. And you're going to take that shot. And you're going to hit that shot more often than not, because it's just not that you have the skill. People have abilities and skill all the time, but they don't deploy those skills well when they don't feel supported, when they don't feel like they have friends and associates. And that's what collaboration is all about. I'm going to see if any of my guys got anything to throw into that conversation before we get started with the eight stages of collaboration.
Yeah, I'll jump in there. I think you were spot on there. You talked about creating the trust being the foundation of creating a relationship of collaboration, trust, and also I would say a sense of safety. And when I say safety, I'm not talking about physical safety, because we're not, hopefully we're not in that area, but the safety to actually be authentic, to be yourself, to not have to put on this facade of who I want people to think I am, so that I think they will like me, but that's the safety factor. And I think that generates the support that I think Norm was talking about, and I'll turn it over to him on that one. When you have a team around you, like you mentioned from your basketball days, and that's where you really learn the value of a team and the value of collaboration.
Absolutely. Because when you was talking about that, in the collaboration, even you feel comfortable taking a shot, because even if you miss, your teammate has your back and will get the rebound. So it's still a team thing. You can't, like you say, you can't have selfishness. But you was speaking on something that really touched me. Oh, the safety part, and being like yourself. Of course, in the mortgage business, when I talk to different clients, you kind of, you want to speak like this. This is Norman, the mortgage guy. But it's really just be true to yourself, and you will attract the people that want to work with you, the people that trust you, because they will probably see if you're being fake and trying to be some Wall Street kind of guy, when you can just be who you are.
Indeed. I think authenticity is everything. And I think it's everything to, what you're trying to create. But how can you be somebody that you're not? A lot of people are struggling with that, because they're trying to be what other people expect them to be, instead of trying to be the greatest themselves that they could be, and showing people how wonderful they are as themselves. It takes a lot of bravery, a lot of courage, and you can't have that if you don't have the safety, emotional, psychological safety of a collaborative group. That's the beauty of it all. But I know you guys are probably, felt there and done that and been there in this world. Anybody having experiences and when the collaboration just isn't going to work? Is anybody ever had that situation that you want to share? You don't gotta share if you don't want to. It's okay. I'm not gonna beat you up about it.
Well, let's just say that yes, it happens, especially like in the mortgage business, because you have the realtors that you deal with, and I sometimes being the mortgage guy, and I take, it's almost like being the quarterback. Even though everybody else has to do their job, if the team loses, they're going to blame the mortgage guy. If the loan doesn't go through, they're going to blame the mortgage guy. Even though it didn't go through because the property didn't appraise or something like that, it's still on the mortgage guy. So, and some people understand it, and some people are harder to understand the nuances of actually closing a loan. So yeah, I've had some different collaborations also.
You bring me to something that Sterling said earlier when we were back in the chat. There are people who have different levels of emotional intelligence that's based largely on their experience, right? Mm-hmm. So an experienced, talented realtor is going to show up differently than a brand new person who you have to now teach the business to in order for them to just even work with you, you know, mm-hmm. which is much different, right? So if you had your choice, you know, if I had the choice, you know, I want Irving Magic Johnson on my team, right?
Right.
I don't want, you know, Johnny Joe. I think I play basketball pretty good. You know, I want the best. I want to collaborate with the best, you know, because I am the best, you know, at what I do. And so I want to make sure I'm in collaboration with people that can see me and respect me for what I bring to the table. But if I'm working with somebody who's so new, and I know a lot of times I'm using you, Norman, as an example, people in real estate, they think they are the quarterback.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, they think they are the quarterback, and they don't realize they need all these other pieces to work perfectly in order for them to show up and look like they look, right? You know, for them to look good in the whole process. But if it doesn't, and I'm sure Sterling has some examples of this too, but when collaboration goes south, when people don't respect each other on the team, you know, when people don't have a level of equally shared respect. And when I say respect, I know what the word means. It doesn't mean what we all think it means. Actually, I looked it up and I said it means to have to hold someone in high regard and to literally adore them. So we turn around and we say we respect everybody. First of all, that's a lie. You cannot hold everybody in high regard or adore everybody. You know, it's like you don't have the emotional bandwidth for it. Anybody who says that, you know, it's like, well, yeah, you have a modicum of respect for most people, but you cannot have real respect for everybody. I don't believe that. Do either of you guys believe that is true?
Well, what I think is that what we can have is a total openness to people, you know, and then it moves up from there. And also what I found in my experience with people is that we also have, in terms of relationships, it's almost like if you look at these little targets with these circles and each one gets a little bigger, there are people that are in this circle, and then there are people that we have in this circle, and there are people that we have in this circle, and people that we have in this circle. And and our interactions and relationships with them vary by the size of the circle.
That's one of the things I teach networking all the time. And I teach people your inner circle is different. You know, how you treat people that's on your inner circle, that circle of trust they may talk about. Remember that, I don't know if you guys saw that movie or something about the phone.
I know the one you're talking about.
Are you in the circle of trust, right?
Yeah, with De Niro and Ben Stiller. Oh, God.
Yes.
The Parents. That was it.
Okay, yeah.
The Parents. That was the one.
So, you know, I teach people all the time when I'm talking about networking, it's like, you got to be careful who you let in that inner circle. You're going to be protective of that inner circle. But now, if I only need you for a transaction, I don't need you to be in a circle. If I just need you for something I want and something you want, or whatever that is, and we're done, it's once and done. So you can be I can know you, I can feel comfortable with you, but you're not going to be on the inner circle. You're not going to be the people that I go to when the chips are down. You're not going to be the person that, you know, I need to bounce my most precious ideas off of. You're just going to be somebody I know. And then there's people who, on my outer circle, that they know me, but I don't really know them. Right. Mostly they know of me. They know my name. They know the circumstance that they may have seen me in, but they don't actually know me. So there's no trust there. There's no transfer of trust there. There's just you know, I'm familiar with this guy, not in a family way. I just understand. I understand his existence is there.
Right.
And then outside of that, there's people that you don't know. And they're not in either of your circles, right? They don't know you. You don't know them. They're not in any circle at all. But as you get closer and closer to that inner circle, you have to be really, really discerning about how you handle those people, because those people can do the most damage to you. When you let the wrong people in your inner circle and you're trying to collaborate with them, it's like, whoop, time out. I did not know that you actually a criminal. I did not know that you actually can't be trusted. For some reason, I thought, you could be trusted because you're in my family, or I thought you could be trusted because, we known each other for all these years. But no. And as you grow, you become, really quickly able to discern who deserves to be with you and who doesn't. But a lot of that, I think, has to do with how you feel about yourself. But anyway, I digress. I'm supposed to get into this topic. Let me get into the 8 challenges. And for those of you who are with us, you can pull this up on your document that's in the chat right now. You can go back on Facebook or LinkedIn or any place you're looking at it. There's a document at the beginning of the chat that will help you understand what we're talking about today. In fact, that's all of our training and everything about collaboration is right there. It's a long document, it's 23 pages. I'll probably add some more to it before we finish. But I wanted to start off with, literally what collaboration is and what collaboration does for you. And there's certain requirements that you have to be a good collaborator. You have to be able to have the vision for it. You have to desire it, and you have to be intentional with your collaborations. Because if you don't, if you try to approach it by accident, you're going to make so many mistakes, and you're going to end up causing more damage than you're going to cause opportunity for people. You have to have the right tools and systems in place. And I mean the communication structures, right? These are things that you have to have in place, and you have to actively communicate, or it's just not going to work. And on top of all of that, you have to value the people that you're playing with. You value the people that you're going to work with, value people that you want to deal with. So again, as you start looking for people to put in your inner circle, you got to be thinking about these things. Do I like this person enough to trust them fully? Can I give them all the trust? Because if you can't give them all the trust, then you need to do what you need to do in order to get that make that happen. And it's not necessarily, sometimes people just they don't have integrity, that are not going to be trustworthy, no matter what you do, right? But you need to figure it out. How can I give you the trust that's earnestly and feel good about giving you the trust? That's work that you both have to do. That's why your communication structures has to be good, or you're not going to be able to collaborate. When you get this right, you're going to be able to express true love and joy and respect for one another. This is critically important, because you cannot get around the intangibles. Everybody thinks that, I'm a collaboration and I'm in a partnership with somebody, but usually that thing's about transaction. Collaboration really, really is the elevation above transaction, because it includes all the emotional things that you have to have in order to do it well, in order to discover and create meaning, relevance, and significance. You got to be willing to give, to share, to be authentic, to do all the things you have to do. If there's not mutual interest, then it's not going to be a collaboration. If it's not increased engagement, if you don't find yourself wanting to meet and wanting to grow together and wanting to work together, your collaboration is going to fall apart. And if it's not developmental to your relationships, your collaboration efforts are going to fall apart. This is very, very difficult. That's why it's going to take 3 to 4 weeks to really even talk about it. And I find that, I like to think of the gifts of the collaborator, the 7 gifts of a collaborator, almost as spiritual gifts. These are things that you naturally have that are about you. And it's the gift of prophecy or vision, right? The gift of leadership, the gift of contribution, the gift of mercy, the gift of exhortation, the gift of teaching, and the gift of service. If you can think about all these things and figure out how you can elevate the things that you need to elevate to make yourself a better collaborator, good for you. You're going to bring something to the table that is going to be amazing. It's going to help others. No matter what you do, no matter where you are, you're going to be able to grow. Let's talk about the prophet for a second. And when I say the prophet, I don't mean a person who is doing the woo-woo stuff. I'm like, I'm just going to look at you and I can see your future, that kind of stuff, kind of prophet. I mean the kind of person who can look at somebody's talent and see the trajectory of that talent. Who could look at somebody and have a vision for what they see them doing, watch them perform, watch them do what they do at a high level and go, you know what, I can see this person escalating, elevating to whatever next level there is. I understand them. I'm empathetic with them. I could see their gifts, right? And I can figure out ways that I might want to share what I see with them so that they can feel comfortable being even more of who they are in that space. So if it's a space where you're going to be a mentor to somebody, or even somebody who is a mentor to you and you're their protege, you might be able to check your mentor and give your mentor some gifts while they're alive and say, you know what, you are a great mentor. You really should be the vice president of the company, or you really should be doing blah, 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 blah. I can see you, everybody else really enjoying and appreciating what I'm getting from you. So we got to figure out how we can take it to the next level, because I think you can. I think you have what it takes. And you may be surprised at even how you can lead in a 360 degree, right? You can lead people, and you can see people doing what they do at a high level and give them their flowers while they live. Make sure you let them know that you appreciate what they bring to the table. Make sure you let them know their thoughts, their ideas, whatever. Even a little small gesture can be something that you can appreciate and see it going to the next level, and then share with them what you're seeing that happen. You got to be authentic. You got to be real. You can't be faking it, right? You can't just say somebody, oh, I see you're great and you're marvelous and you're talented and you're magnificent, and it's really all for naught. You got to be specific about that. You got to say, this thing right here that you did, this thing right here that you said, this thing right here that I caught you doing, I think is absolutely amazing. And I know this is going to bless you in the future. This is going to be something that you're going to be able to take and run with it and really make a difference to the lives of others. That is what I mean by being a prophet. It's being a visionary for somebody else. It's being a person who can see the talent that they have and help them figure out where they might take this thing to blow it up, so they feel comfortable. So they feel comfortable doing that next thing. The next person that you're gonna come into that has a special gift, those are the leaders, right? Those are people who you want leaders on the collaborative team, because leaders have a way of not just being in outer space and like, this is possible and I believe in this and I have faith and hope and all these kind of good things and it's great, blah blah blah. They're not just the cheerleaders. No, they know how to get stuff done. Leaders know how to guide and direct. Essentially, that is what they do exceptionally well. Whatever abilities they have the confidence of those abilities in such a way that they can turn those talents into a directional force for the benefit of others. Let me say that again. A leader can guide and direct and turn the talents of others in a directional benefit that helps each person get a mutual benefit out of the situation. It's very, very important. They're excellent communicators. They're quick thinkers. They have an ability to lead, whether it's volunteer or paid. They just have it. They have the stuff that people go, oh, yes, you're the one. You're the person. You got the great ideas. You got the wherewithal. I'm going to follow you because there's something about you that I see that is so special, and I just know that you're going to guide us and take us in the right direction. And leaders, just natural born leaders, they just have it. They know how to do it, and they're really good at it. The third gift I think that a collaborator naturally have is the gift of contribution. This is the person who can let their ego go. This is the person who wants nothing for themselves. Very hard for them to accept anything because they're so busy giving. You literally have to force a contributor to take something in their own reward. I know my panelists have dealt with people in their lives that are just like that. They're giving, making contribution, sharing with others, talking to people, want always to bring some idea to the table. They always want to do something. They always want to get involved. They always want they're contributors. That's their natural gift. And when you try to stop a contributor from doing the thing that they love doing, which is giving, right? Then you're not doing them a service. You're doing them a disservice, because how they see themselves in terms of their experience with the world and how they see themselves participating and how they see themselves growing and maximizing everything that they're doing is through their contribution. Let them contribute. In fact, tell them what you need. The best thing you can do for a contributor is to tell them exactly what you need. If you need a new relationship, or if you need a hookup to an idea or a concept, or you need somebody to do something for you, tell them. Even if they can't do it for you, they will find somebody who can do it for you. These are things that, when you talk about these gifts, these are things that people just kind of are naturally all about. Now, and I want you to think about yourself as I explain them to you, so that you can begin to go, okay, where am I strong? Am I more of a visionary? Am I more of a contributor? contributor? Am I more of a leader? Maybe you're a mercy giver. I love these people in the collaborative team. These are the people who are quick to forgive others their missteps, right? They may say the wrong thing, or others may do the wrong thing, or they may do something that take things a little sideways. But a merciful person is a person who can see the good in everybody and figure out ways to tap into that. I got too many stories about people who have literally forgiven me for some mistakes that I have made. Now, I'm not sure I'm worthy of their forgiveness, but they did it anyway, because that's who they are. They don't hold on to, things that happened to them in the past. They don't allow things that happen to them right now to affect them negatively, because they don't know how to do that. They function in a place of mercy. And so the person like that on the team, that's always the person who's going to de-escalate a situation. That's always the person who's going to help you go, you know what? Yeah, they did something that wasn't the right thing to do, but let me tell you about all the good things that I see this person's doing. And this is why I think we should continue to play with them. We should continue to let them on the team. We should continue to work with them. And that mercy person, that person is going to be the one that gets you back in good graces with people when you fell off with good graces with people, right? When you said something inadvertently, maybe you didn't do it on purpose, but you did something that didn't work for other people. The mercy person, that person gonna be like, come on. It's all right. It's gonna be all right. We're gonna take care of you. We got you back. That's what the person who is merciful does. That's the collaborator who's merciful. The next kind of collaborator, I love this one. This is one of my favorites. This is the exhorter. Now, before you have to go look that word up, let me just tell you, a person who likes to exhort the benefit and the like to talk about others favorably, right? That's the person. That's a promoter, right? That's the person who on the team, and they're always going to be able to say, you know what? Let me tell you something about Norman. Let me tell you something about, everybody who's on our team and who's collaborating with us right now. This is the person who is going to sing your praises. You need that person on the team, because that person can say things about you that others may not say. And they definitely can say things about you that you won't say about yourself. And they will get you credibility, and they will get you the love and the respect and the honor that others that should give you because of who you are. They're going to give you the praise that's worthy of who you actually are, who you've been to them, who you've been around them, who they caught you being great, and they can't wait to share that with everybody else. That is the person that you need on a collaborative team, right? If you don't have people who are doing that on a collaborative team, again, when individuals on the team need to be recognized, need to be noticed, need to be paid attention to, maybe other people will look right past it because they're so focused on whatever the agenda is. They're so focused on whatever the mission is. They're not looking at each other anymore. They're not looking for or to each other anymore. But that's not what the exhorter is going to do. The exhorters are always going to be, they're going to catch you doing good, and they're going to tell everybody else about it. That's what the exhorters do. The teacher is, again, another one of my favorites. This is the person who's going to be such a respected authority, such a respected talent and gift to the team, because anything everybody wants to learn, the teacher knows how to break it down into its smallest pieces and come back to it and help people figure out where to get things going, get things on the right track. The leader's going to tell you where to go. Other people are going to tell you why you should go. Other people are going to tell you how great you are. But the teacher, that's the person who's going to show you how. That's the person on the team. If anybody needs to have any kind of training, any kind of development, any type of whatever, the teacher is going to be there for you. And the last but not least, most important person on a collaborative team is the server. The servant is going to make sure that everybody is good. Everybody on the team gets served by the server. And some of us have that servant mentality where we just like to see other people happy, and we'll do what's necessary to make sure other people are happy. Now, here's some things that I have to share with you. If you know anything about the brain and how it works, you'll know that success comes after happiness. If you're happy, you could be successful. You could be sustainably successful. But if you're not happy, then success is going to be very difficult for you to keep. Even if you reach it, it's going to be difficult for you to hold on to. So what would you focus on first? Happiness or success? This is a chicken or the egg question, but there's no mystery to it, because what comes first is happiness. And it's the server who's going to serve that initial drive, that initial desire, that initial want, whatever it is that you need, you think you need, you like, you're all about. The server is going to make sure you have it. They're going to make sure that you have access to it. They're going to make sure you have what you need to be happy so that you can function at a super high level. These are the gifts, the collaborative gifts that we all have. All of us have them in some way, shape, or form, but we all may need to dial up one particular area or another, in depending on, and it's a situation in terms of the teams or the way we find ourselves working with others. Sometimes we need to be a better server. Sometimes we need to be better promoter. We need to be a better teacher. We need to be better at forgiving and showing forgiveness and showing mercy. Making sure people understand that when we say that we forgive you, we really mean it. And we don't, we separate whatever your so-called sins were against us, right? We separate those from you altogether. I think I don't heard it somewhere. There's a quote. I think maybe it might even be in the Bible, but it's like hate the sin, love the sinner. A merciful person can do that all the time. They're really good at that. Or you can be a contributor. You can be the kind of person who just likes to share, likes to give, likes to make sure that they're making a meaningful contribution because they want to do things that are relevant. And then there's finally the visionary, the prophet. You can function in any of all those areas as a collaborator, but you need them all on the team. And anybody who doesn't fit in one of those boxes on the team, or who doesn't specialize, they can't be on the team, because they're gonna be the cancer that's gonna make the team fall apart. They're gonna be the person that doesn't work well. Okay, so I'm gonna bring my guys back to the table. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, is there any part of any of that rubbed off on you guys, or something that you might want to share with the audience that you think was especially useful or even interesting?
Well, go ahead, Norm. You got something?
No, I'm gonna let the coach go first. Let this other coach go first. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, no, I was the contribution I want to make is that what you said was just absolutely spot on. The different roles, and what I'm really pointing at is the different roles that need to be available on a team. And as you said, a person on the team may play more than one role, and I think it we've done a lot of metaphor between business teams and sports teams with Norman's expertise. And I think, if you look at sports team, Norman, I think you'll agree it's the same thing. The head coach may be the head coach, but you got players on the team, and some player is in each one of those little roles going on. So when something, if the team's losing and something's going wrong, you're going to have one player that's going to say, hey, come on, y'all, let's go, man. Yeah, we lost, but look at this, or somebody starts pointing fingers at somebody. You're going to have somebody say, hey, wait a minute, step back. Let's look at, they missed this shot, but how about that assist they made that got us into this playoff? That kind of thing. So yeah. I think that the real important was to have those different roles, and to understand that that's what creates a strong team. And then also the communication part, because teams go through processes until it kind of gets normalized and who's going to take what role. They have these processes of building a team, which is storming and norming. First, there's sort of this chaos, and then it gets normalized into, okay, this person's going to be that one. This is going to be that person. This is going to be that person. And I think like sports, like you're saying, is that same kind of thing.
Absolutely. Because the collaboration is each person playing their position to make the whole team better.
That's right. And I think that the language we use, that's why I came up with these 7 different aspects of a collaborative team, is I think the language we use is vitally important to people knowing what role they're going to play. Right. Because, certain things you hear go like, well, that's not me. I'm not the contributor guy. I'm not that. That's not me. Or you may hear like, oh yeah, that guy, that merciful person, that's me. I'm gonna bring the love. I'm not gonna be. I don't have nothing bad to say about anybody. Nothing. Whatever somebody says, it rolls off my back, and I keep the party going. Right. That's the person who's going to keep the peace. Right. You need that person, but that might not be you. So when you're know, like,
Yeah.
you know, but now you know what to look for because you have the language, right? You know, if I'm gonna recruit some people on the team, I'm gonna need some people to deal with all these hotheads I got around here. So let me find somebody who can be merciful. Let me find somebody who can do that. Everybody's trying to be a contributor, but no one's thinking that, you know what, we're gonna need, if everybody's just trying to be a contributor, we can't stay together too long.
Yeah, I was just thinking as you were saying that, I'm thinking like, well, Norman, with you being a mortgage guy, I mean, you're kind of choosing your team because you and I'm guessing with you, because you're an entrepreneur, at times you got to wear a lot of those different hats because you got nobody else standing there with you. You would talk earlier about some of the people whose emotional intelligence goes south when the deal doesn't turn out like they wanted to. So I'm imagining in your, and other entrepreneurs out there, you got to wear 2 or 3 of them hats at the same time in the same context.
That's true.
I'm gonna tell you something. If you ever dealt with a situation where you were in a housing contract and it fell through, that's when all of this kind of comes right to the forefront, man. Because you're disappointed, right? You know, it's like, wait a minute, we wanted it, we put a contract out on it, everything seemed to be going well. Then all of a sudden, at the last minute, some little shift happened or something, and it always. You know, that's the lesson for me is in even in the most collaborative of effort, shift happens. You know, things happen, and either the team rises to the occasion and learns from it and moves forward, or they fall under the pressure.
That's true. That's true, because you got to shake yourself off, get back up, and come back stronger.
You know, but good collaborative teams allow that to happen better. You know, when you got people who, again, are supportive, they got your back. You know, all the roles are being filled. Then that's an environment where you can pick yourself up faster.
Because the teammates can help pick you up.
Right. Then if you don't have that, and I think a lot of people, especially entrepreneurs, man, we go at this thing by ourselves. We think we're all by ourselves, and we think we got to do it all by ourselves, and we don't. I'm a big believer. There's nothing you have to do alone. Everything you do alone, you're choosing to do alone. You can also choose to do it with somebody else. And the more you strengthen that muscle, then the more collaborative you can be, the stronger you can be, the more of a reputation you can build as somebody that we want to work with. Everybody wants to work with, you know. But if you're that person who is known for tearing up the room anytime things don't go the way you want it to go, you know, or assessing or creating blame, shame, and fear for everybody that you're talking to. If you're that person, then you're part of the problem. You're not going to be. Well, I won't say you'll never be part of it, because I do believe everybody can grow, right? Everybody can change, but you might not be on this team when you make that change. Because when you finally mature enough to be on the team, you might have been, things that might go on soft, so it might be beyond repair.
And not only that, it affects the team.
Right.
It really, you know, can end up having a toxic effect on the team.
And you really can't have that. Well, guys, this was a great discussion. I promise you guys I'll be out of here by 4:00. I want to see if there's any kind of conversation or anything that's going on in the chat that we should be paying attention to. By the way, if you're out there in the chat and you haven't introduced yourself, haven't told us what you're doing, or anything that you want to share, please do so. This is a friendly environment. We don't turn anybody down, turn anybody away. We're open to discussion and anything like that. Marcus did have something to share that I want to share with you. He gave us a little feedback. He didn't know that small business could stop Walmart for coming in, and that's awesome. Anybody can stop. Again, we're stronger together, Marcus. Everybody is stronger together. And the more we reach out to others, the more we share our ideas, the more we get out of this everybody we're competing against everybody mindset, the better we're going to be, especially against the forces forces of nature, right? So the political forces, the economic forces, the legal structures, everything that's out there that could literally work against us has a harder time working against us when we're together. You know, we're about to go into what they call a recession right now, right? Some people think we're already in it. I think we're already in it. Some people lying, trying to say like, we're not in it yet. But the reality is, all the indicators, and I'm an economics major, all the indicators say that we are in a recession. So
like the inverted yield curve.
yes, we in a recession, and so if we don't teach each other how to act accordingly in this recession, again, just like the pandemic, just like Hurricane Katrina, just like any other national incident, then there's going to be some people who don't survive this.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people want us to believe, well, let's not act like we're in a recession right now, because if we could pretend like it doesn't exist for a little while longer, maybe we can get through this better. And to a certain extent, it's true. If we act like we're not in a recession, we keep going to the store, keep buying stuff, and keep consuming,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, we can make the businesses fat and happy. We could do that. Or we could take a minute and say, wait a minute, let's be careful how we're going to spend our money. Let's save so that, when this is over, we'll have something to stand on, instead of trying to figure out how we can continue to run up the gas prices and how we can continue to do all the things that we're doing, because all that is adding to the inflation. Because what will happen when there's more demand, the prices go up. So stop demanding stuff. That's just simple. That's just simple financial mechanics. When anybody doesn't understand that, just come talk to me. We'll get you all squared away. But I think that I really appreciate you both for coming on the show. I hope you had a good time. I know I did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, man. It's nice to connect with fellow business people and with others out there. So thank you. I really appreciate your invitation to be a part of this.
All right, so this is your last shot, guys. Anybody got any last final words they want to throw out before we close the show down?
Only thing I'd just like to throw out, man, I'm creating a program, Marvin, for businesses, so small businesses, to help them create collaborative environments that you were talking about, so they can move forward with their business. And I'm doing market research on it right now. And I'd love to get some wisdom from those who are out there doing this, to make sure that whatever we're creating is timely and useful and helpful in moving your business forward. So if I'm reaching out, and if it'll be okay to haven't put my email up there or say what my email is, if people want to be a part of that research, they can contact me.
Absolutely. Just put it in the chat, and I'll boost it for you so everybody can see it.
Okay.
How about you, Norman? Any last words?
Last words. I mean, I'm with Nexa Mortgage. I'm actually my own independent entrepreneur within a company, so I do have support. Nexa Mortgage is the largest wholesale broker in the nation. You can find me at normanthemortgageguy.com, and if you have any questions, just reach out.
normanthemortgageguy.com.
That's right.
Fantastic.
Anyway, I want to talk to you, Norm. All
right, so you guys, I'm gonna put you backstage for a second. If you can stay, please stay. Don't go away, because I'm gonna have a little back brief with you after I close out the show. But thank you guys so much for coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Coffee Tea You and Me. This is what we do every Friday. We chop it up every Friday. Some idea, some new concept. We're going to go deeper into collaboration next Friday, so you don't want to miss this show. If you're catching this on the rewrite, on the record, definitely follow up with us next week. Make sure you follow, because this program is going to elevate. We're going to teach you how to become a better collaborator at the end. We're just setting it all up right now so that you know why you should collaborate, and giving you some aspects of something to hang on to so that you can see what that's all about. Hopefully you can pull down the chat. I put it up already, a brand new document in there for you. I just finished it a couple days ago. You might find some spellos and some typos, but don't worry about that. Just let me know. I'll fix it. But and more importantly than that, I will make sure that we update. You'll get any updates that you want to. Just follow that same link, and you'll get any new updates as I add more to that document. That's on my Google Drive. So you might even help me write some books. Oh, by the way, if you got a collaborative story that you want to share, put that in the chat too. Let me know that you got something that might be adding to one of those elements. And I might put your story, I might publish your story. Who knows? But I'm all about sharing and all about the collaboration. So if you got something that you want to bring to the table, let's bring it. And I'll put your name up in lights to the best of my ability. Okay, God bless you all. You all have a great one. This was a fun show, and I really appreciate your time, effort, and energy. Peace.